Welcome in, guys, to my NFL recap for Week 4. We start off with a Thursday game. NFL, please do a better job of protecting your players. If Tua was concussed last week, he comes back way too early, gets sacked in the game, and then he gets stretchered off. Again, do better. You have all these big TV deals, Amazon Prime, and whatever. Do better. But again, then we had the Bengals. I like their offensive line on Thursday night. They looked like they was protecting Burrow. Hurst was creating some great chances in the lane that led to the first touchdown for Mixon to make it 0-6, and then 0-7. Then Sanders got the Dolphins back in the game to make it 3-7. Then to make it 6-7 from Sanders' field goal again. 3rd and 11 from Higgs to make it 6-14. 12-14 in the first half. Then going into the second half, it was 15-14 from a Sanders field goal. McPherson made it 15-17, and then 15-27 with a first touchdown, and the Dolphins get the win. Again, this was like last year when the Bengals had a slow start and they reached the Super Bowl last year. Again, if this offensive line keeps gelling like they have in this game, there's gonna be a lot of good things. But yeah, and Matt McDaniels he's done great so far as well. We had the Vikings versus the Saints in the early Sunday games, 28-25. It wasn't Madison touchdown to make it 7-0 in the first. 3rd and goal from Olave to make it 7-7 in the second. Joseph's field goal to make it 10-7, and then 16-7 in the third. 16-14 in the second after 19-14 in the fourth. Touchdown from Hill and a 2-point conversion to make it 19-23. Goes into overtime with field goal to make it 25-25. Then a Joseph field goal makes it 28-25, and there was a point where Lutz was gonna get the field goal, comes off the crossbar, and the wind blows it away. Again, bad luck for the Saints, but a good win for the Vikings. You had the Browns versus the Falcons. Start Desmond Ridder as the starting quarterback. You've drafted Desmond Ridder. Start him and see what you have. Stop this whole stupid mindset that the NFL has and still does. Because again, let him learn behind the quarterback. You're letting him learn behind Mariota. Mariota is the quarterback here. The secondary quarterback is Mariota. Start Desmond Ridder and see what you have. And actually, yes, you could lose 6 or 7 games, but does it matter? It matters to see what Desmond Ridder is going to be in his first year. Because for a long time, you've needed a quarterback. Let's be honest, Matt Ryan has been the guy for the last couple of years. You got rid of Matt Ryan. Mariota is the secondary quarterback. See what Desmond Ridder is and see what things you need around him, what weapons you need around him. You've got Drake London, who's a great acquisition in this year's draft. Why don't you build with those two guys and see what else you have in the offensive line and stuff like that, and build. But the Falcons won 20-23 against the Browns on Sunday. Then we had the Chargers versus the Texans. Herbert did start the game. Joey Bosa was injured, but it was again, it didn't matter for the Chargers. They still got the job done, 34-24 on Sunday. Everett had a 3rd and 3 in the first, make it 7-0. Then Eckler, who had a really good game, had a touchdown in the second to make it 14-0, and 14-0 in the second, and then 21-0. And then Texas got back to 27-7. Hopkins made 24-7 and 27-7, and then Cook made it 27-21. And then Eckler, who had his 3rd touchdown of the game, he had a really great game on Sunday, 34-24, and the Chargers get a win. Then we had the Bills versus the Ravens. The Bills bounced back from last week's defeat, and you had it was 0-7 to the Ravens first. Then Bass with a field goal to make 3-7 in the first. Dobbins second touchdown of the game to make it 7-14. And then it was 23-20. Again, the Bills, even though they lost last week, they bounced back this week, and that just shows the mentality that they have. If you're going to win a championship, you need that mentality. I know you're going to lose a couple of games, but again, they're going to be definitely Super Bowl contenders this year, the Bills. Then we had the Jags versus the Eagles. Doug Pearson returns to Philly, but he wasn't a good return for Doug Pearson. But he did put up a good fight against Philly, and it ended 21-29 to the Eagles. First time since 2004 the Eagles have gone 4-0. Starting with an Isco touchdown for the Jags to make it 7-0 in the first. Agnew had a touchdown to make it 14-0, so great start for the Jags. And that's then Jalen Hurts came back in the second and made it 14-7. Sanders made it 14-14, 14-20 in the second. Elliott field goal to make it 14-23, and then a 3rd and 3 from Sanders plus a 2-point conversion to make it 14-29, and then Agnew had 2 touchdowns in the game, made it 21-29, and a good start for the Eagles again. Like I said this in my preview when I was previewing Philly. Eagles Rams. I'm still saying Eagles Rams Super Bowl final. And then we had the Titans versus the Colts, 24-17. The Titans got the win. Start Malik Willis as your starting quarterback. Oh my God! Please start Malik Willis as your starting quarterback. Why are you starting him? You're not starting. Start Malik Willis as starting quarterback. Start the young quarterbacks. And one thing I do want to talk about with the Colts as well, fire Chris Ballard. Chris Ballard fired him as GM as the Colts. He fucking sucks. Fire his ass. Fire his ass. But anyway, it ends 24-17 to the Titans, and the Titans going to win. And then we have the Seahawks versus the Lions. I mean, the Lions try to come back, but again, you're losing to Geno Smith at quarterback position, for God's sake. You had 2 secondary quarterbacks. Yes, I said 2 secondary quarterbacks, and a Jared Goff and a damn Geno Smith. But ultimately, Pete Carroll and Geno Smith got the job done 48-45 against the Lions. Please get a quarterback next year, the Lions, for God's sake. Get a quarterback. Jordan Love, you could get Bryce Young or CJ Strauss. But no, we got to sit with fucking this asshole, this idiot, in Jared Goff for another year. I mean, you've got St. Brown and you've got Williamson, and then you've got those 2 good wide receivers. But who the hell? How are they going to catch the ball when you've got a damn idiot at a quarterback position in Jared Goff, for God's sake? But anyway, and then we have this year the Jets versus the Steelers. The Jets win 24-20. The first time that they've gone 2-0 on the road since 2015. Good thing about this was that Kenny Pickett started the game. But again, he took midway through the game, he took Kenny Pickett off and then put Trubisky back on. Like, what the hell are you doing, Tomlin? Like, if you're going to start Kenny Pickett, starting for the whole game. Don't start him for half of the game and then put Trubisky. And I know what you're doing there. Because again, there's a couple of times where Kenny Pickett was having some hairy moments there. But again, he's learning on the job. But again, Tom was like, oh my God, Kenny Pickett, we drafted him in the first round. He's not looking that good. He's probably not looking that good because he needs to get more reps in the NFL. He needs to get more time in the NFL to adapt to the NFL. Not to sit on the bench and look at tape of Trubisky, who's mid. But then ultimately, the Jets won 24-20. Then we had the Commanders versus the Cowboys. Again, how great is that Carson Wentz deal, guys? Commanders fans, please tell me in the comments, how great is that deal for you guys that you've got Carson Wentz? Because it did well on Sunday, 10-25 to the Cowboys, and Cooper Rush, and the Cowboys got the win. Then we have the Bears versus the Giants. Bears football, definitely some Bears football in New York / New Jersey on Sunday, because it was Bears 12, Giants 20. Brian Dabble. Again, I look at this, I'm like, if I'm the Bears, and I'm Ryan Poles, I'm like, I should have took Brian Dabble over Matt Eberflus. Like, again, I look at Matt Eberflus, what the fuck are you doing? Again, this idiot who again, what the hell have you been doing in the last 4 games? And then Brian Dabble, who again, he still has, they both have a lot of shit in their team, but he was Justin Fields, he was supposed to be a better quarterback than Danny Dimes, the turnover, the guy that only does turnovers, and then, and then he's just, and then you got Luke Getz, who's an idiot. He's going for field goal instead of touchdowns. Oh, let's not put the ball in the quarterback's hands, and and anytime that Justin Fields was open, he would never find anybody anyway. He would make bad passes. The Giants' defense, the one point where they was really worse for wear, and what does Getsy say? Well, just let's go to the right side of the field and let's try that. Yeah, that was such a great job. The Bears have scored 16 points in 4 games. And again, the only thing that matters is Justin Fields' development, and it's not looking good so far. Fire Getsy. And again, some more Bears football, because again, let's not get an offensive-minded coach that again would be great for the modern NFL and great for the Bears. Let's go for 1980s, 1990s Bears defensive football, because again, we got to go back to 1985, last time you won a damn Super Bowl, for God's sake. And that draft class was really great from Ryan Poles this year. You didn't protect Justin Fields on the offensive line, but you want to go for defensive. Again, the Bears defensively are okay, but offensively they're like the 1985 version of the Bears, for God's sake. 1990s. Then we have the Cardinals versus the Panthers, 26-16 to the Cardinals. Then we have the Broncos versus the Raiders, 23-32. The Raiders got the first win of the season. Josh McDaniels finally gets his first win, and he beats his former team, the Broncos. Then we have the Patriots versus the Packers. Again, the Patriots should have won this game. The Packers, again, both teams are bad this year. Let's be honest. The Patriots and the Packers are bad. They're both gettable teams. You can, definitely get a couple wins over them. But the Packers' secondary is gettable. And the Patriots didn't have Mac Jones. They had Bailey Skip, or whatever his name was, the third quarterback they had, and that ended 24-27, and then the Packers get the win. Then we have the Sunday primetime game, the Bucks versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs blew the Bucks out the Chiefs blew the Bucks out of the water, 41-31. Mahomes had a really great game on Sunday, and ultimately it was a great win for the Chiefs. Then we go to tonight's game. It was the Rams versus the 49ers. Sorry, guys. Rams versus 49ers tonight's game on Monday night. The Rams are, I don't know, the Rams are not the same as they was last year. You can say there's a bit of a hangover, a bit of a, again, they lost to the Bills opening game. I don't want to go into that, but you don't want to read too much into that because it's an opening game. It was the opening game of the week. But then you look at this game here, a division game, but they was third last year in big play passes last year. And then they lose 9-24 here to Jimmy G as quarterback to the 49ers. So again, I know that they've had injuries. They got a couple injuries tonight as well, but they're missing OBJ, and once he gets back, I don't think he's going to be back till week 10 or 11. Get him back as soon as you can, because it shows how much you're missing OBJ. But anyway, guys, that's my NFL recap for week 4. Leave your guys' thoughts on this week in the comments, and